Tyler Dawson had always felt like there was more to life than the ordinary hustle he found himself caught in. A 34-year-old graphic designer living in Austin, Texas, Tyler was successful by most standards. He had a stable job, a cozy one-bedroom apartment, and a close group of friends. But at night, when the glow of his monitor faded and the silence crept in, Tyler felt a void. It wasn't about money or love or recognition. It was something deeper. An ache for meaning, purpose, and clarity. He had goals, big ones, but they always seemed just out of reach. One evening, after a particularly frustrating day, Tyler opened YouTube to distract himself and stumbled upon a video titled, Sadhguru on How to Manifest What You Really Want. He wasn't exactly the spiritual type. Meditation, energy, the universe. None of it was part of his daily vocabulary. But something about the calm confidence of the man in the thumbnail drew him in. He clicked on it. The first few minutes of the video felt vague, but then something caught Tyler's attention. The speaker, calm, firm, and grounded, was saying something different than the usual motivational fluff. Your thoughts are not the key. Your intentions, clarity, and alignment are, he said. Tyler leaned forward. The man spoke about the importance of being in tune with yourself, your desires, and the energies around you. He said that most people don't get what they want not because they're unlucky, but because they're not truly clear about what they want. They think they know, but deep down they haven't committed. That idea stuck with Tyler. Was that his problem? Had he been drifting, never really declaring what he wanted with clarity and passion? The video ended, but the curiosity it sparked didn't. That night, Tyler lay in bed thinking about the concept of manifesting. Was it possible that he was the one blocking his progress, not because he lacked talent or effort, but because he lacked direction? The next morning he made a decision. He was going to test this idea, fully and sincerely. He didn't want to just dabble in some feel-good self-help practice. He wanted results. Tyler created a notebook and called it Manifest Journal. On the first page he wrote down what he truly wanted. Not vaguely, but with detail. It wasn't just, I want to be successful. He wrote, I want to work remotely, doing creative design for companies I admire, earning enough to travel, save, and live comfortably. I want to feel proud of the work I create. I want to live by the ocean within the next year. Felt good to write it out. Real. Clear. Every morning before checking his phone or email, Tyler opened the journal, read what he wrote, and imagined it vividly. He followed the video's advice. He didn't just wish. He acted like it had already begun. He practiced stillness for 10 minutes, letting go of chaos and distractions. And he stopped saying things like, if it happens, and instead began saying, when it happens. A week passed. Nothing major changed, but Tyler felt different. More alert, more focused. He noticed how often he would talk himself out of taking bold steps. He stopped that. He started reaching out to new clients on freelance platforms. Not timidly, but with genuine belief in what he could offer. He updated his portfolio, rebranded his website, and started applying to remote roles that aligned with his vision. 3 weeks in, something unexpected happened. A design agency based in San Diego messaged him back. They liked his work. They were looking for a part-time remote designer for a series of projects with a surfing apparel brand. Tyler, who had written in his journal about living by the ocean and doing meaningful design work, couldn't believe the coincidence. But he remembered what the speaker had said. When you are aligned, coincidences become natural outcomes. He got the job. It started as part-time, but the energy was right. He loved the projects. His creative juices flowed effortlessly. The brand's team enjoyed working with him. In just 2 months, they offered him a full-time remote contract. Tyler was stunned, but also not. He had done the work, internally and externally. His intention had been clear, and now he was seeing the results. Encouraged, Tyler took another leap. He started looking for apartments near the coast. In late spring, he moved to a small beach town near Oceanside, California. His mornings now began with a walk on the sand. He would sip coffee on his balcony, open his journal and write, "Thank you." Not for something vague, but for what he had manifested and what he was about to. This experience transformed Tyler. He realized that manifestation wasn't magic. It was a commitment to clarity, discipline, and internal alignment. He began sharing his journey on social media, not for followers but to inspire others. His friends noticed the shift in him. More present, more purposeful. One of his friends, Emily, asked him if it was just luck. Tyler smiled and said, "It wasn't luck. It was decision, belief, and action. All tied together." Emily, who worked in finance and felt stuck, asked Tyler to show her what he did. He walked her through the process. Start with clarity. What do you really want? Not just what sounds good. What resonates? She thought for a moment and wrote, "I want to leave my job and start a small organic cafe. I want to serve fresh, honest food and create a space where people feel welcome and peaceful." Tyler nodded. "Perfect. Now believe in it every day. Write it, visualize it, and move toward it. No matter how small the step." Emily followed the process. Within 6 months, she opened a small cafe in Austin. She called it Rooted. It wasn't booming immediately, but she was happy. Every day she told Tyler she felt alive, that she was finally living her truth. Tyler's story spread among their circle. More people began reflecting on what they truly wanted. The ripple effect was real. It all came back to that one night when Tyler watched that video and decided not to just be a passive consumer, but to act on the message. Over the next year, Tyler grew even more. He didn't stop with the ocean life or the job. He expanded. He began taking on mentorship roles for young designers, created an online course on creative freelancing, and started hosting monthly virtual calls on manifestation and mindset. Not as a guru but as a guy who had lived it. He always gave credit to where it began, but he added, "Learning something powerful doesn't mean anything unless you apply it." People loved his honesty. He wasn't selling a dream. He was sharing a path. One evening, as he watched the sunset on the beach with a sketchpad in hand, Tyler reflected on how far he'd come. A thought came to him. What else do I want? He opened his journal again and began to write. Not from a place of lack but from inspiration. I want to design my own brand, built around purpose and peace. I want to help people create lives they love. I want to build a community of creators who align heart and work. And so, his next chapter began. Tyler proved that manifestation wasn't just about daydreaming. It was about clarity, presence, discipline, and deep belief. His life was living proof that once you understand how to direct your energy, your mind, and your actions toward a singular purpose, nothing remains out of reach.